traders, this is Footy Trader from myfootballtrading.com, and I'm so very much excited to be here today. It's Friday 19th of January, and again we meet to have a look together at the weekend games and find some opportunities, build our watch lists, and find cases basically where the market is wrong. This is what we do here every week, and then we trade those games in play. So I will start again with some recap from last week. This is what you can see on the screen. In the end, it was a nice profit. Could have been better. Athletic Bilbao, Real Sociedad. You can see that this one clearly stands out, right? I laid Bilbao at the start of the game. Then when they were 2-0 up at halftime, I laid them again. So I had like plus 100 profit on the draw and on the Real Sociedad win. In the end, the game ended 2-1. So as they say, close but no cigar. Yeah. So then it's minus 35. In the end, I haven't traded 4 games from the watch list for different reasons that I presented in my earlier video. So again, just to clarify, we build a watch list, right? These are potential trading opportunities, but they still require verification. And what I mean by that is first the starting lineups, and the second, of course, the odds that change every day, right? So if we talk today about the game on Sunday, many things can change between today and Sunday. So every time before entering the market and investing, double check whether the conditions hasn't changed, whether they are the same, right? Because what was a good opportunity on Friday may not be a good opportunity on Sunday. Yeah. Before I go into the odds, do I comment anything on the discussions that I was involved in the last couple of days? I don't think I will. It's just that from my perspective, Match Odds Guru, who I was having those conversations with, had a complete misconception on what I do here. Really, that was the root cause of the misunderstanding, right? He really thought I was doing something else, right? I was doing and sharing football tips with you, which is not what I do. And this is where the misunderstanding came from. I got a bit tired after a couple of days, I'm not gonna lie, repeating over and over again the same thing. So I've just ended the conversation. We all have more important things to do. And I was not the only one targeted by his comments. He was sending the same comments to more people. So, we're not here to have those types of conversations. We're here to learn from each other and try to earn some money. Okay, so this video should be a bit shorter. Sorry, should be a little bit shorter than usual because we won't have Liga on games, and it's not that I really much regret that. How I treat Liga on games. It's that in France they will be playing cup games in the next couple of days, so the league games will come back only next week. So today we'll just have 4 reviews: Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, and Bundesliga. And let's, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So Premier League, You can see on my chart, right? The rounds are split, right? So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that are still missing that will be played in the Premier League. Well, let's start with that. Let's see whether there is something that is obviously standing out, yeah, and it may be, it may not be. So I have my odds with me, and let's make it a start. So Arsenal against Crystal Palace is the first one. Arsenal category 3, yeah, I've changed the category. Still, I don't have category 1 in Premier League. I have teams with category 2, and at this moment they are Manchester City and Liverpool. But Arsenal has been struggling a bit recently, so now I have them as a worse team than Liverpool and worse team than Manchester City. We'll see, that may change in next week. For now, it's what it is. The market, however, is pretty certain here. We have 128 for Arsenal and 11.55 for Crystal Palace. 9 times better team, right? Arsenal 9 times better than Crystal Palace. 3 categories apart, separate those teams. Yeah, Arsenal 3 for me in my world, and they were category 2. Crystal Palace category 6 at the moment. I am okay with this situation, so it's a no. So won't be adding this one to the watch list. Then Brentford against Nottingham, 2 category 6 teams. You know, guys, that we don't like those games from the trading perspective, in a sense that when you have 2 poorly performing teams, the evaluation of that team is difficult. Yeah. When you have, again, I know that I'm doing this every week, and I'm probably sounding like a broken record, but I really like this analogy. If you have cars, yeah, and you have a car race, and you have 2 cars racing, and each of the cars can break at any moment, you don't want to invest in this race, basically, right? You don't, because it's a blind guess. The market here, however, is giving 189 for Brentford and 408 to Nottingham, which is kind of interesting in itself, right? Because Nottingham is 15th, Brentford is 16th, so both teams kind of the same. They're Brentford 5 defeats in a row. Nottingham won last 2 games, so their form is a little bit better. They defeated Newcastle 3-1 and defeated Manchester United 2-1. So kind of a big deal. Whether there should be 4 or 8, I don't think so. But again, these are the teams that are at the very bottom of the Premier League, so I will leave this one go. Yeah, but I understand there may be some of you that will decide to go ahead and lay Brentford, as it's really the only reasonable thing to do. If you want to really invest in these types of teams, then the way to go would be to lay Brentford here, right? Because these odds should be higher, right? So if the odds should be higher, we lay. If the odds should be lower, we back. That's the rule, if anyone wonders on how to treat those games. But for me, it's a no. Now, Brighton against Wolves. We are expecting Brighton to be the favorites. No reason not to be. The market agrees. 164 and 497. Okay, which kind of makes sense in this case. It seems we may not have anything in Premier League for this weekend. Bournemouth against Liverpool. Again, I said very strong favorites, but yeah, it's 429 for Bournemouth and 173 for Liverpool. What do you think about this one? Let's see. And again, just to make one thing clear, when I started recording, it's not that I'm prepared, really. I am going through the odds and going through the card with you. So, you know, I try to think as I go through. Yeah, so I make, you know, change decisions and look into it at different perspectives, you know, things like that. So Liverpool 173, which we can compare to Brighton against Wolves. So, okay, so is it that Brighton has a bigger chance of beating Wolves than Liverpool has of beating Bournemouth? Liverpool is playing away, okay, because the probability of Brighton beating Wolves is 61, almost, and Liverpool is 57. If we take a look at the table, Bournemouth 12th. Liverpool is of course at the very top of the league, top of the league table. Bournemouth lost with Tottenham 3-1 in the last game. I would argue that the Liverpool odds should be around 1.5. They are 173. It is a question on whether they will drop or not. Still, it's not a huge value. 190 something I would probably take. 173 in an away game. Let me see. Having said that, how is Bournemouth? Bournemouth is 15th if you look at home games. 3-3-3, 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. Liverpool away, pretty damn good. Second place in the league. Second place in the league table. Will Salah be playing? Probably not. Yeah, he is off for the African Nations Cup. So Salah is off. Alexander-Arnold is off. Joel Matip is off. Andy Robertson is off. Thiago and Tsimikas are off. Szoboszlai is doubtful. It's okay. So it's a no trade for me. So that's Premier League. That's really 5 games, and there's nothing here which I would like very much. Let's move on. A lot of red. So a lot of Category 6 teams in La Liga I have at the very moment. Yeah, this one, back Real Madrid against Barcelona, is a note that I had from last week. And this is something that, it was a good decision, by the way. Right. So let's have a look at the games and the odds. Okay. And the odds. Okay. So Alaves against Cadiz is the first one, is this one. We have this game today, 1.7 for Alaves. Again, 2 poorly performing team. Alaves number 6, Cadiz number 7. It's a no trade, 596 for me. But then let's see it. We have 4 games tomorrow, and we start with Rayo Vallecano not facing Atletico Madrid, as Atletico Madrid had that Copa del Rey game yesterday. So Rayo Vallecano will be facing Las Palmas. It's interesting that I cannot find this game. It's a funny thing. Okay, let's move on. We'll get back to that. Villarreal against Mallorca. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so sorry. And also it's Vallecano against Las Palmas. Okay, Vallecano against Las Palmas, 192. But again, it's 5th against 6th. 192, 442. This is interesting. So Las Palmas is a better team in my world than Rayo Vallecano. The market completely disagrees. If you look at the table, we have Rayo Vallecano 11th, Las Palmas 9th. So definitely you won't say that Vallecano is a better team. They are playing at home, however, Rayo Vallecano at home is 19th in the league table. Believe it or not, 19th. 20 teams in La Liga, and Vallecano is 19th at home. 1 win in 9 games. Las Palmas away is 10th, so in the middle of the table. This one I'm eager to look into. It's a yes, because I think unless there is something tricky with regards to the starting lineups, these odds should be more even, more equal than they are. So moving on, Villarreal against Mallorca, we have 2.12 and 3.53, so it's 2.12. Yes, so here Villarreal 15th, Mallorca 14th, pretty even teams. Villarreal playing at home, the market is giving them the advantage. I will accept that. But it also proves my point here, which may be proven again if we look at Osasuna against Getafe, because it will be the same as Vallecano Las Palmas. So let's see. Osasuna against Getafe. I'm very interested in that. So we have 2.18 and 3.80. Again, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. It's better than Vallecano Las Palmas, but still doesn't fit my world really. Osasuna 12th in the table, Getafe 10th. It's not that Osasuna is great at home. They are 13th in the league table. Getafe is also 13th when they play away. So again, I will have a closer look at that. Depending on the starting lineups, I'm more eager to trade this one, and by trading I mean entering the market by and laying Vallecano. Osasuna Getafe would be an Osasuna lay again, but we'll have to check that. But I'm happy to add this to the watch list again as well. Sorry. Valencia against Bilbao. For this one, I won't accept even odds here. I don't know. I'll just see what they are, but Bilbao should be lower. They are 337, 221, which is fine. Celta Vigo against Real Sociedad. We have it here, 323, and Real Sociedad 2.46. And this is tricky, right? If you do some comparisons, Real Sociedad number 4 facing number 6, and we have Bilbao number 3, number 5. Okay, and no, I thought there was something wrong here, but it really is not. 4 6th, 3 5th, the odds pretty much the same. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me. Okay, Osasuna Getafe, we've just had a look at that. Yeah. So the next one is Real Madrid against Almeria, but not much to talk about here. 1.15 for Real Madrid and Almeria 15.66. So that's a clear no. Then we have Betis against Barcelona. Betis against Barcelona is here. 4.11, 1.83. And that makes sense. That makes sense to me. And Granada Atletico Madrid as well. Yeah, 4.75. Having said that, wait, I didn't check. 171 for Atletico Madrid to defeat Granada. Isn't that generous? Granada 19th in the league table. Atletico Madrid fighting for the Champions League spot. And 171, I think this is generous. I would take 171. Atletico Madrid just played 2 very good games against Real Madrid, and they were pretty even in those games, right? 3-3 in the Super Cup and 2-2 in the Copa del Rey. 171 against Granada, I think it's too high. So that's definitely a yes. That's definitely a yes. Okay. All right, let's move on. So we have 3 games to look at in Spain. Let's see whether we can add something to it from Serie A in Italy. So just scrolling down to the games, we have full card of Serie A games, and let's see. I'm pretty sure there will be some interesting games in Serie A. Okay, now, first one. Roma against Verona, 1.46799 makes sense. There is a huge difference between Roma and Verona. In my world, category 3, category 6, that is correct, so that's a no. Udinese against AC Milan is another game played tomorrow. We have it here, Milan number 2, Udinese number 6, Milan playing away, still pretty strong favorites, 409 for Udinese, 189 for AC Milan, makes sense to me as well. Now, 4 games that will be played on Sunday. Frosinone against Cagliari. I don't want to touch this game, but the market is pretty much agreeing that these teams are even. It's just that Frosinone is playing at home, and this is that small factor that differentiates them. So that's a no. Empoli against Monza. Monza should be, 278, 257. Let me see. Monza equal to Empoli? I don't think they are. Empoli at this very moment 19th in the table. Monza 11th. Empoli at home at the very bottom. 1 win in 10 games, believe it or not. Only 1 win in 10 games. Monza away, pretty damn good. 7th place. Laying Empoli may be a good option here. So something to have a look at here. Monza category 5, pretty generous in my opinion. So adding this to the watch list, lay Empoli may be the way to go. Then Salernitana against Genoa, we have 3.61 and 2.18, which is correct. Yeah, and you can compare with here, right? These are the same colors. If they are the same colors, I would expect the same odds, which is not the case here. Genoa against Salernitana, so this probability 45-87 is something that I'm okay to agree with, but 38-91, not really. This is why this has been added to the watch list. Lecce against Juventus, simple stuff. Number 1 Juventus, Lecce number 5, 596, 165. Juventus playing away. I am okay with that. And the last one is... No, that was the last one, really. That was the last one. The next game will be played only in a week. Bologna, Fiorentina, Inter, Atalanta, Napoli, Lazio not playing. I think this is because of the cup games as well. So, but Monza against Empoli definitely added to the watch list. We'll see. Again, check the lineups, check what will happen with the odds, and only then decide whether to jump on it or not. And then last but not least, Bundesliga. I'm pretty sure we will have something here. I just feel it that we will have something. And in Bundesliga, we have, I think, the full card, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So let's have a very quick look. And Mainz against Union Berlin is postponed. This is the game that should have been played today, but it was postponed because of the weather, from what I read. So won't be played. So I'm leaving that as it is, not adding the odds. But not sure whether all the games tomorrow will be played, but I have the odds, so let's have a look. FC Köln Dortmund, first one very interesting, 4.3 and 1.75. Aren't we being generous here, ladies and gentlemen? 175 for Dortmund against Köln. And yeah, if we look at the league table again, okay, Köln at the very bottom, 17th out of 18, yeah, and Dortmund 5th, fighting for Champions League spot. 175. We had, so wasn't that the case? Yeah, so Atletico Madrid Granada, we had similar, 171, but that was completely exaggerated, 2 against 7. Jesus. Here we have 3 against 7, and it's 175. I will check the starting lineups again. I'm not sure what the starting 11 will be for Borussia Dortmund, but if they are playing strong team, then 175 seems to be a good option. So definitely we'll check that further. Bochum against Stuttgart is the other one. We are expecting, so here again we can do some comparison. Yeah, Stuttgart is facing a better team than Köln. And yes, their odds are higher. We have 363 and 1.97. Yeah. Yeah. So that will be a no. I think for me, if I was to invest, right, I prefer investing in Dortmund than in Stuttgart. I have more confidence in Dortmund as a product, no offense, than Stuttgart. So here I'm eager to add to the watch list. This one seems more or less correct in terms of the odds from the looks of it. Darmstadt against Frankfurt. We will probably have some more things to compare. Darmstadt again number 7 and Frankfurt number 4. So worse than Dortmund. So what else should we expect? We should expect something around, yeah, probably around this. And yeah, look, we have 3.80 for Darmstadt and 1.96. So we have the same probabilities, yeah? 51% more or less. Team number 3 beating 6 and team number 4 beating 7. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Freiburg against Hoffenheim. Where is it? It's here. Okay, now 2 evenly matched teams, as in my world. Freiburg at home, okay, we will give them a small edge, but the market is giving them more. We have 205 and 3.41. So it's more than I would expect. Now, Freiburg 7th, Hoffenheim 8th. I think I know what the problem is. The problem is that, Freiburg pretty well at home, only 1 time defeated in 8th. And Hoffenheim is struggling. So we can take that into account. So usually where I would say it like around 240 to 50, it's 205, but Hoffenheim is really struggling. Look at the 4 away games. They drew at Augsburg 1-1, but then they lost 2-1 with Mönchengladbach. They lost 3-1 with Leipzig, and they lost 3-0 against Bayern München. So in those circumstances, I can accept what the market is telling me. So let's see, Heidenheim against Wolfsburg. We have two evenly matched teams. What is the market telling us? The market agrees, 271, 2.55, giving a small edge, small advantage even to the away team. But that doesn't change the picture that much. Yeah, the probabilities of winning are pretty much the same. And if we look at the league table, Wolfsburg is 11th and Heidenheim is 9th. We won't be arguing with the market here. Next one is Leipzig against Bayer Leverkusen. This will be a good one, a big game, right? Leverkusen, top of the league table, and they are a better team at this moment than Leipzig, in my opinion. The market, however, disagrees. 2.45, 2.72. So the market is saying two things. They are saying these teams are even, these teams are equal, but I am giving an advantage to Leipzig because they are playing at home. So taking a step back, these teams are not even in my world. I think Leverkusen is a better team. They are just undefeated. 14 wins in 17 games and only 3 draws. Leipzig, on the other hand, they even lost their last game. They lost to Eintracht Frankfurt at home, ladies and gentlemen, 0-1. Before that, they drew with Bremen. So here, it's a yes. Again, check the starting lineups, but if these teams are playing full strength, then I would be laying Leipzig and giving a chance to Leverkusen. Why laying Leipzig? Because I think these odds, 2.45, should be higher. Yeah. And Bayern München against Bremen. Yeah, it's Bayern and the market is crazy. If the market here is Bayern and they are just crazy. Here they really are crazy. 109, Jesus, and 24-18. What do you think? Isn't this crazy? Okay, if we convert those numbers, the probabilities and the times one team is better than the other one, the market is telling us that the Bayern is 22 times a better team than Bremen, and their probability of winning is 91.74. Bremen 13 in the league table. If we look at the away games only, they're, however, at the very bottom of the league table. 18th. No away wins in 8 games. And that tells us the whole story. And that's why it's a no for me. It's the worst Bundesliga team if you take into account away games. So I know it's 109, but I won't take it. Mainz Union, okay, we said that this one is postponed. So the last one is Mönchengladbach against Augsburg. 192 for Mönchengladbach. Again, it will be a case of one team playing better at home, way better than the other team is playing away, I believe. 3.66 for Augsburg. Just checking that very quickly. Mönchengladbach, 10th in the table, so in the very middle. Augsburg, 12th, but Augsburg is struggling. And if you take away games into account, they won 1 in 8. And that tells you the whole story. Mönchengladbach at home is 9th, undefeated in last 5 games at home. So doing pretty good at home. So if we take those circumstances into account, even though these teams are relatively even, in those circumstances, I'm okay with the market. So that's a no. Okay, so again, these are the games that I will be adding to the watch list, to my trading watch list. I would be very keen on hearing what your selections are. Again, adding games to the watch list doesn't mean that it will certainly be a trade. This is something that has to be verified later. So the odds have to be verified and the starting lineups have to be verified. Yeah, and maybe there will be some extra factors that I'm not even thinking about at this very moment. So definitely before the game, when we have all the details available, make the final decisions. We have added, just to do a quick summary, in Bundesliga, I have added Leipzig against Leverkusen, potentially laying Leipzig. Dortmund against Köln, thinking that market is quite generous, offering 175 for Dortmund. That is facing a team that won 2 games in 17. In Serie A, we have only one, Monza against Empoli. Empoli, again, struggling to win. Lay Empoli seems like a good option here. In Premier League, we have nothing. We had this conversation about Brentford against Nottingham, but in the end, I decided not to add it to the watch list. In the other games, we rather had strong favorites. Yeah. Okay, sorry, where was I? I had to pause the video. Sorry for a second. There was someone at the door. I think, I was talking about Premier League, that we have nothing here. Yeah, strong favorites, Brentford, Nottingham, one potential opportunity, but I'm not deciding to add it to the watch list. And La Liga, we have Atletico Madrid against Granada, similar thing to Dortmund against Köln, so I'm adding it here as well. And Vallecano, Osasuna, not necessarily better teams than Getafe, Las Palmas. Yeah, so definitely something to check. Vallecano, Las Palmas, stronger selection, in my opinion. Osasuna, Getafe, less strong, but still, I don't think these odds are justified. Yeah, but check the lineups. Okay, with that, thank you very, very much. As always, I will be eagerly waiting for your comments on Twitter/X, and share your screens with me from the betting exchanges, and I will do the same during the weekend. So here is for a good and profitable weekend. All the best, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. We'll be in touch. Bye-bye.